on The Trader, fanning the flames of a lifelong passion with author J.M. Dillard.
25 years ago, I turned on the television set and saw a certain pointy-eared gentleman, and love sprang anew.
And the cutting-edge way to watch movies with Jim Cameron's production chief, Van Link.
It's a good way to be able to mix material that's just pictures or text along with motion footage like video and other pieces, because it gives you a really good idea of how the movie was made.
All this and more on today's episode of the Sci-Fi Trader. I agree with what Robert Louis Stevenson said. For my part, I travel not to go anywhere, but to go. I travel for travel's sake. The great affair is to move. Hi, I'm Warren James, and welcome to The Trader. The spirit of exploration can soar within our hearts and lead us to travel beyond our homes, across continents and oceans, and ultimately, it will lead us across the sea of stars, to go where no one has gone before. And now, Gene Dillard has written a book that takes us on a colorful, illustrated tour of the history of Star Trek, from classic Trek to Star Trek Voyager. Everyone who's seen this book has flipped over it, including my friends who work on Trek. Gene, I'm glad you could join us so we could talk about Where No One Has Gone Before.
Certainly.
It's a great book. It's a beautiful book.
Oh, yeah. I'm really pleased with the quality of it. They did a lovely job in the layout and making them look really good. So.
You know, what is the appeal of Star Trek to you and to other people? Because I know you've been involved with it for a number of years.
Boy, if we knew the answer to this, we could make a lot of money. I think the appeal of Star Trek is it's a positive vision of the future. You know, and I know my personal appeal has to do with the fact that long ago, 25 years ago, I turned on the television set and saw a certain pointy-eared gentleman, and love sprang anew in my heart, and so I've been just dedicated to Star Trek ever since.
In your book, you have a lot of interviews with people that worked on classic Trek and Next Gen and the others. Who were some of the people you talked to?
One of the most interesting people for me personally, you know, I use my initials, JM.
Yes, why?
Because of D.C. Fontana, Dorothy Fontana. It's sort of homage. Back when she was working for Star Trek and writing for Star Trek in the 60s, it was just unheard of for a woman to be writing for television. And so she used her initials so that there wouldn't be, you know, any prejudice. It was wonderful to talk to Dorothy because I learned all kinds of fun facts. You know, she's a dedicated Spock fan, too.
Well, she's also written a number of episodes that developed the Spock character.
She wrote the most wonderful episodes. She wrote Journey to Babel. She wrote This Side of Paradise, where Spock falls in love, boom, boom, boom. She had just a lot of interesting and fun facts that I really didn't know before.
You know, when people look at Star Trek and they see the characters in the ship and all the other things, they see Star Trek that way. And yet when Star Trek was being created, it could have gone a number of different ways.
Oh, yeah.
The captain.
Yeah, for example, the captain. Now, this is really wild. I didn't know all these different people who were being considered for captain. Back when Gene Roddenberry was putting his pilot together for Star Trek, he really had in mind exactly who he wanted to be the captain.
And that was?
Lloyd Bridges, from Sea Hunt fame. And Lloyd said, well, Gene, I have to tell you the truth. I've seen science fiction, and it doesn't work. People aren't going to be interested in it, so I'm sorry. I won't do the pilot for you. And so Gene went, damned. And they had to find a replacement for him. And, of course, the very first person that came to their mind was not William Shatner, but Jack Lord of Hawaii Five-0
Star Trek
fame.
5-0.
And they were Star Trek 5-0, and they were in very serious discussions with Jack Lord, and he finally said, well, look, here's the deal. You give me 50% ownership of the show, and it's a deal. So Jack Lord could have been a very, very wealthy man today.
Yes, yes. Thanks for joining us, Gene.
Oh, yeah.
It is a wonderful book.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
Gene Dillard's book, Star Trek, Where No One Has Gone Before, is a beautiful book that will refresh your love for Star Trek. And now here's Jim and Darla to tell you how to get one for yourself or as a great holiday gift for your friends.
Being a Star Trek fan for almost 30 years, since its premiere run in the 1960s, it's been a large part of my life in all its incarnations. J.M. Dillard has compiled a fitting tribute to the Star Trek legacy with this beautiful deluxe hardback coffee table book. Within the first 5 minutes of browsing through it, I immediately decreed it was the greatest Star Trek book ever created, hands down. And I'm telling you right now, for the record, this book will knock your Federation socks off. Included in this stunning book are many exclusive, never-before-seen photos from the Star Trek universe, including several from the new film Generations, and remarkable pre-production artwork from the new series Voyager.
Celebrate Star Trek's heroic vision of humanity with Star Trek, Where No One Has Gone Before, a history in pictures. This just-released hardback first edition is signed by the author, J.M. Dillard, and makes a perfect holiday gift at only $44.95. That's $44.95 for this incredible, oversized treasury of beautiful color photographs, insightful commentary, and an introduction written by William Shatner. Don't miss this opportunity to get a signed first edition in hardback for just $44.95. And as a bonus, you'll receive this Star Trek Generations bookmark absolutely free. This is one collectible that is certain to be enjoyed for years. Warren, take us where no television show has gone before.
Certainly. When we come back, we're going to see special editions of famous movies that include footage that was never shown in the cinema. Movies are often cut and trimmed, modified for a variety of reasons. Wouldn't it be great if we could see movies in exactly the form that their creators desired? Well, now you can, through the magic of LaserDiscs. And today, we're going to show you how you can get your very own LaserDisc player. But first, we'll talk with Van Ling, head of production for Jim Cameron's Lightstorm Entertainment. Van, you produced the enhanced LaserDisc for The Abyss, and you worked on Aliens, right?
I helped out.
In The Abyss, you added back in the tidal wave sequence. Could you describe that for us?
The tidal wave sequence was one of the big climactic sequences in the original screenplay, and it was important to Jim as kind of the alien version of a nuclear threat literally hanging over us. And what happened was the film was just coming out too long, and one of the things that we found was that people either loved that sequence or they hated it because it felt like almost it was out of a different movie. The people who loved it said this is the meat of what the film is. This is the message of the movie, you know, that, you know, mankind's on the brink. The other half said, where did this come from? This, you know, we're here in this intimate claustrophobic space and now we're cutting all over the world, seeing this huge tidal wave with all these people you don't know. And so it was kind of a trade-off. We didn't know what we do, but we knew that there was a time problem. And when it came down to trying to make a cut, Jim had to decide between trimming down characters or cutting out this subplot. And for him, he calls it lightning in a bottle. The drowning sequence and the revival sequence, the characters of Bud and Lindsay and their relationship was lightning in a bottle for him. And as a director working with actors, that was the most important thing. That's what people connected to. And so he felt, I need to keep that. I'm gonna get more respect for keeping that than I am for throwing out the character and keeping the spectacle.
Oh, everyone who knows that he kept character at the expense of a subplot applauds him. No one ever does that except
Fox
for
was
him.
freaked out. Fox was like, we spent all this money on those special effects and everything, you know. But they understood. They were very.
The lovers of film are clapping. What about Aliens? What was added back to Aliens?
There were a number of subplots in Aliens that were again cut for time. One of the most important was a subplot that showed that Ripley had a daughter who was 10 or 11 years old when she left Earth, and at this point in Aliens,
in Alien 1,
in Alien 1, kind of backstory. And what happens is when she comes back after being in hypersleep for 57 years, her daughter has died of old age.
Yes.
And so there's this moment where she breaks down, where she realizes she's utterly alone in this new future. And that becomes kind of a resonating point for the scene later with Newt and the whole relationship for her.
Well, it's a very critical element. I'm glad to see in the Aliens LaserDisc, you were able to put that point back.
Yeah, there's one of the things Jim loves to do in his scripts is to do a lot of little cross links that resonate. That you realize there's an association between these two characters, and it harkens back to this relationship over here. In terms of Aliens, Sigourney, I know, was fairly upset that that was cut because she felt it was one of the motivations. I don't think it hurt the film that it was cut originally, in the sense that you still felt that maternal instinct take over. What the LaserDisc does, though, is it adds another layer of depth.
Yes.
Which, that scene, and there were a number of other scenes involving sentry guns and things like that.
Thanks.
All of those were cut for time.
Ah.
Yeah.
Van, thanks for coming and talking to us about LaserDiscs and about The Abyss and
You're
Aliens.
very welcome, Warren.
Wonderful format, wonderful movies.
Glad you enjoyed them. Thank you.
And now Darla's going to tell you how you can experience the enhanced edition of these classic movies. Darla?
The Trader is offering 2 of the most dynamic movies ever made in the most dynamic format ever created for home entertainment, Aliens and The Abyss. Each of these laser discs feature the best audio and video quality available and come with a complete supplemental section where you can learn about all aspects of these films from the earliest stages of pre-production on through the theatrical release. You can experience firsthand everything from the development of the screenplay and storyboards on through the casting, special effects, cinematography, sound design, and dozens of other aspects of the production.
These extended versions are the director James Cameron's vision of these films as they were originally intended to be seen. And you get a full-color brochure with program notes, chapter listings, and a viewer's guide to additional scenes, all packaged in striking boxed covers. These extended editions of these movies have not been shown in the cinema.
Aliens, the special widescreen collector's edition, is yours for only $99.95 and a call to the Trader. There really are some places in the universe you don't go alone. The widescreen special edition of The Abyss is THX LaserDisc mastered and duplicated for optimal video and audio performance, and includes the awesome tidal wave sequence. Yours for $99.95 by calling. Back to you, Warren.
Thanks, Darla. Van, thanks for sticking around so you could show us some of the wonderful things you can do with a LaserDisc player, well, ones like the one that we're selling here. Why don't you show us some samples of what LaserDiscs can do?
Well, sure. This LaserDisc player is kind of like a video version of a CD player, so it has the same kind of random access features. One of the great things about LaserDisc player is that you can pause by just hitting the step button, and you'll see that you have a perfectly clear and crisp image that you can then step through frame by frame and study them as long as you want. You also have the ability to put it into slow motion, and you can change how slow it goes, whether it's half speed, eighth speed, and you can even do it at multiple speeds, like twice speed and 3 times speed.
Yeah, so unlike a VHS tape or something, when you go fast, you have a stable picture. You don't have a blurry picture.
Exactly. You also have the ability to skip very quickly to different scenes. For instance, each LaserDisc is usually chapter stopped so that you can go to a particular chapter and just say, this is the scene I want to go see, and you just punch in the number and boom, you're there. And you can watch the scene, and again, you can pause it and look at it frame by frame, and you even have the ability to go backwards if you want to. Like for instance, right now I'm going 2 times speed backwards on this scene from Aliens.
The special editions have a variety of supplemental material.
Yes.
What kind of things do you have in the Aliens disc?
Well, this is what is called a LaserDisc supplement. It's not part of the movie, but it's about the making of the movie, but it's done in a format that can only be done on LaserDisc. As you can see, this is a still frame. We're looking at a still frame that you can read, and once you're done, however long you want to take to read it, you can step through. As you can see, you can go through different chapters, and this will tell you that if you want to, say, go to Chapter 13, you can go ahead and skip down to Chapter 13 very quickly, and boom, you're there. This supplement was actually put together by 2 gentlemen named David Fine and Mike Mattasino, and what they were able to do was to try to combine text frames and different materials so that you could get a comprehensive look into the making of the film by being able to look at the blueprints, look at the drawings.
So you could actually study the evolution of the concepts and the models and things that they had done.
Exactly. And interspersed with it, you can put motion sequences like the one you're seeing, and it goes right back to a still frame, and you step through that, and you can look at those different pieces. it's a good way to be able to mix material that's just pictures or text along with motion footage like video and other pieces, because it gives you a really good idea of how the movie was made.
Great. Van, that's a wonderful way to watch movies and to study them. Thanks for sharing all this with
You're
us.
very welcome, Warren.
And now Darla and Jim are going to tell you about a great LaserDisc player that we found that would make a perfect gift this holiday season. Darla?
Get the most out of your home entertainment system with the Pioneer S201 LaserDisc player for the incredible low price of $399.95. The Pioneer LaserDisc player is actually two incredible machines in one: a LaserDisc player for superior movie and concert viewing, and a high-quality digital CD audio system for when you're in the mood to listen to your favorite music.
This system puts you on the cutting edge of home entertainment technology for the price of what you would pay for an average video player. The Pioneer S201 has a manufacturer's suggested retail price of $535, but here on the Trader, it's only $399.95. That's a savings of $135, all. For those of you who have put off buying a LaserDisc player, wait no longer. Our Sci-Fi Trader tech heads have thoroughly researched and shopped around for the best overall and affordable LaserDisc player we could find.
When we come back, Jim's going to have some very special miniatures from the Abyss. And we're going to show you some books that will spark your children's imagination.
One of the proudest achievements of my life was working on the Abyss as stage manager for the LA unit. This is my crew jacket. I never quite lettered in high school, but in the world of filmmaking, this would definitely mean I played on an all-star team. I even met my good friend Van Ling on the Abyss, and he was kind enough to bring a motion control miniature along with him today to share with us. This is a 1/8 scale miniature of Flatbed utilized in the making of the Abyss. This featured a projector mounted in its interior which projected actors via rear screen who piloted full-size versions of the subs. If you want to see more of the amazing miniatures from the Abyss, check out the incredible documentary Under Pressure, available exclusively on the special edition LaserDisc we're offering today. You know, there are so many great moments in the Abyss. You can just imagine my and the rest of the Abyss crew's delight when the expanded LaserDisc edition premiered and those magnificent lost moments were restored in all their glory. I'm sure you'll be as thrilled as I was to see the Abyss the way it should have been seen. Warren, back to you.
Thanks, Jim. A child's imagination is a wonderful thing. They paint the world around them with fantastic images and create stories that are real to their mind's eye. Seeing the world new each day, they find it filled with adventures waiting to happen and new discoveries waiting to be made. We found some very special books to fuel your children's imagination, and if you order now, you'll have them in plenty of time for holiday gift giving. And don't worry, if you don't have kids and you want to get these books for yourself, your secret is safe.
The Trader is celebrating the holidays with an incredible offer of children's books, including The Page Master, The Robot Zoo, and Dinotopia, all three together for the ultra-low price of $49.95. The Page Master is a gorgeously illustrated volume that is a first edition in hardback. Into the world of the Page Master, where the world's greatest fiction becomes reality, and a young boy finds courage to face his darkest fears. Incidentally, this book is the basis for the new motion picture starring Macaulay Culkin. The Robot Zoo is a fabulous book where every page unveils the magic of nature discovered through the genius of engineering. This book was listed in the Barnes & Noble Top 10 Children's Book of this year. And we also have Dinotopia, the million-copy bestseller that takes you on an incredible journey where humans and dinosaurs live and work together. Plus, as an added bonus, we are including this 1995 Dinotopia calendar absolutely free. This total package has a combined worth of $68. But at the Trader, we have slashed prices to just $49.95, so everyone can enjoy owning this great holiday package. The dynamic offering is yours. Now don't go away. I'll be very lonely without you. If you'd like any of the products that we featured on today's show, including great Sci-Fi Channel hats, shirts, jackets, and watches, just give us a call. And remember, if our lines are ever busy, you can reach the Trader at this number 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Everything offered on the Trader comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee. Now here's a quick review of what we had on today's episode. Star Trek, Where No One Has Gone Before, signed by author J.M. Dillard in first edition hardback, is just $44.95 for the ultimate Star Trek picture book. The extended special edition letterbox version of The Abyss or Aliens on LaserDisc, your choice for $99.95. The Pioneer S201 LaserDisc player provides state-of-the-art home entertainment at your fingertips. See all your favorite movies as they were meant to be seen for just $399.95. Our special holiday children's book package, including The Page Master, The Robot Zoo, and the phenomenal bestseller Dinotopia. If you've got this one already, don't worry, it makes a great gift. The entire package together is $49.95. Plus, you get the fantastic Dinotopia calendar thrown in at no extra cost. For your convenience, we accept all major credit cards, personal checks, and money orders. Now, here's Warren with one last loquacious lyric of lofty lingo.
As this episode of The Trader slips into the past and the next one waits hidden in the future, I'd like to leave you with a thought from the upcoming Star Trek movie Generations. Time is the fire in which we burn. Time, like fire, can be a destructive force or a means of creation. Use your time wisely, and you can work miracles. I'm Warren James, and this is the Sci-Fi Trader. We'll be waiting for you in the future.
Take a rare close-up look at international space politics on the next Inside Space, direct from Washington, D.C., tonight at 10 p.m. Eastern. Now stay tuned for amazing stories next on the Sci-Fi Channel.